1. And welcome back. This is the James McDuffie Podcast. We are still in February 2020, February 16th to be exact. This is episode 2, Highly Effective Habits of Successful People. So, we all know that it's February, and it's that time of year halfway through the second month where most people start dropping out of their New Year's resolutions. You may or may not be one of them, not pointing fingers at anybody, but my primary decision this year is to start a podcast, which means that I need to make sure that I stay on track to getting videos done and being able to be successful throughout the entire year. So I figured this is a great opportunity to help yourself and to remind myself that there's a set of habits that successful people have that allow them to pick up new habits and to sustain them. And sustainability is one of the most important keys. So we're going to go through, I have 4 or 5 items that I think are really important, and then some red flags that you should pay attention to make sure that you're not catching yourselves in a negative cycle. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about today is understanding your level of commitment. I see this as a big problem. Most people, when they pick a New Year's resolution, decide to, as the old saying goes, boil the entire ocean. That's not really feasible or sustainable. And so understanding your level of commitment is really, really important. This is probably the single most important thing that you're going to do for success. And that means starting small. You might have heard the term baby steps, right? And the idea is not to jump into an entirely new workout routine and go to the gym 5 days a week. You're going to burn out and you're going to hurt and you're not going to be successful. The same thing goes for diet. A lot of people decide I'm going to do the Weight Watchers diet, or I'm going to do the Atkins diet, or I'm going to start intermittent fasting. The problem with all of these is there are substantial lifestyle changes. And because there's substantial lifestyle changes, it makes it really hard for people to stick with it. And so understanding your level of commitment is an important habit to understand because it allows you to engage at your own rate. The other thing you have to realize is when you see highly successful people, let's say highly successful people in the YouTube or podcast space, or you're looking at people that are in the fitness space, they didn't start at 1,000 miles an hour, right? They started really, really slow. If you go back and you look at Joe Rogan as an example for podcasts, he used to do it, I think it was in his basement. there's like, he's got one of those really old Macs, and he's got somebody else sitting at another computer, and they're recording, and they got really bad video and lighting. And then you look at him today, and he's got a beautiful production studio, really nice cameras, really nice microphones. He didn't start off that way. And we have to remind ourselves that you can't start off at 1,000 miles an hour. You're not going to run a marathon when you don't even know how to jog. So a good example on how you can apply this to your own life is let's look at a couple of the most common New Year's resolutions that people have. Number 1 is diet. So when you're picking something dietary, you need to start out with something really, really tiny. I like the example of brown rice versus white rice. There's not a lot of nutritional difference between brown rice and white rice. However, brown rice has a little bit more fiber, and fiber helps, with a lot of different health problems. And so one of the things that I did a long time ago, and one of the things that I recommend to any of my friends that are considering a diet, is pick little things that you can change slowly over time. So if you're going to pick brown rice as an example, you don't have to change overnight. You don't have to change in January. You can change over the first 6 months of the year. And every single time you go out and you decide to get Chinese or any place that has a good brown rice, make sure that you just ask for brown rice instead of white. It's a really simple thing. And you're not changing everything in your diet. You're still eating the same normal foods. Another example that I like to use is coffee. Most people that know me know that I drink black coffee. And I didn't do that in a year. In fact, it took me 5 years to get to black coffee. I used to drink 3 Starbucks drinks in a day, which, let me tell you, is very expensive when you start adding up all the math on how much you're spending on Starbucks or fancy coffee. But then I decided I was getting ventes all the time. So the first thing I did was get smaller drinks. And this is something you can do. Instead of going to Starbucks every single day and ordering a vente, you can order a grande, which is a medium. Or if you go to a normal coffee shop, instead of getting that large, try getting a small. And you can do this slowly over time. Do it over 6 months. Make a habit of just ordering a slightly smaller drink. And then after I started ordering smaller drinks, instead of getting the super sugary drinks, like the mocha or the frappuccino, I started just getting normal coffee. Now, I still had cream and I still had sugar and it was still a medium. And then I did that over a year where I stopped with the normal sugary drinks and just went to a standard coffee. And in the next 6 months, I decided to go from sugar to artificial sweetener. I like the taste of Splenda. So maybe you like Sweet and Low, or you like Equate, or you like one of the other like stevia type of artificial sweeteners. So then I moved to artificial sweetener. And then it took me another year to go from artificial sweetener and cream in my coffee to just coffee and artificial sweetener. So then it was black coffee with sweetener in it. And another year after that to go from sweetener, from 2 sweeteners to 1 sweetener, from 1 sweetener to no sweetener. So this happened over a long period of time. And I want to emphasize the same thing goes with exercise. I see a lot of people that get into the gym and they try to go right to 3 to 4 workouts a week, and they're lifting super heavy weights and they're trying 3 to 4 sets on everything. The problem with that is you're going to hurt after those workouts, and your joints and your muscles aren't ready for that kind of stress, and then you don't give yourself the right level of recovery to work into it. So when I try to get people into a healthy lifestyle, I recommend that they pick something small. Go to the gym once a week, pick one day, and don't do 3 sets, do 1 set to start off with. It's not going to feel like much. It's only going to take you 10 minutes. But 10 minutes over a long period of time can turn into 20 minutes, into 30 minutes. 1 day a week can turn into 2 days a week, and 3 days a week. Start really small. So if you start in January, what you really should do is pick 1 day, pick 1 exercise for your legs, 1 exercise for your arms, 1 exercise for your chest, 1 exercise for your back. That's 4 exercises. I like air squats. You can start using kettlebells or dumbbells. You're holding them and slowly progress weight over time. Pull downs or pull-ups. If you like pull-ups, if you can do 1 or 2, go ahead and do pull-ups. Otherwise, pull downs are really good. That way you can set the weight and just pull it down to your chest and let go. And then curls. Maybe just a set of bicep curls, and then you can do bench press, or you can just try push-ups, just a couple push-ups. And you start off really slow. 1 day a week, a little bit of everything. I'll try to have another video on working out in the future and my dietary stuff, because a couple people have asked me that on Facebook over this last week. But the idea, again, is to start really small. January, 1 workout a week with 1 set. February, 1 workout a week with 2 sets. February, 1 workout a week with 3 sets. March, throw in a second workout every other week. Every other week, have a second workout. And then you can build up to 3, and then you can build up to maybe 4 sets, and then you can add in other things besides that. But the idea is to start really slow with something you can commit to and something that allows you to recover. Now, this applies definitely to business. I'm starting a new podcasting business. This is obviously episode 2, but I don't have all the equipment. I don't have all the fancy studio lights. I don't have extra microphones, but I want to start. And I've set a commitment for myself to do 1 video a week. Now, the nice thing is it takes me 10, 15 minutes to write the script that I want. You think about it over at random times during the week of what you want in a video. And then I just record 1 hour on the weekend. And then I have another hour for post-production. So every week I'm committing 2 hours of my time to building a podcast. Now that's small. And in the future, maybe I'll go to 2 a week, maybe 3 a week, or I've kind of planned in the ability to slow down. I want to start the habit regularly and then maybe go down to twice a month instead of once a week. But again, it's something that I can commit to over the course of this entire year, and it's something I can do with the equipment that I have now. And my video recording device is just my iPhone. I have a nice iPhone. It has 4K video and really nice audio with a basic mic that I'm using, and that's my setup. Really, really basic. And hopefully over time, as I grow, I'll get better video, I'll get better audio, get a bunch more mics. But I'm starting small. I'm starting with something that I can commit to now to start being successful. And if you're doing a business, any other business, the idea is think about your business license, think about your company name, and slow, methodical process. It's not about starting a business in a week. It's about understanding that you can commit to an hour or 2 hours a week, and then over time, maybe it will replace your primary career. It's not about replacing everything today. It's about picking your level of commitment and making sure that you can be successful with that level of commitment. Number 2 is I think the second most important one, and that is pick changes you can sustain. Now, that doesn't mean understanding your level of commitment. This is a very different habit. This is something that I hear a lot of people make grave mistakes on. I see people that hate going to the gym and they hate running on a treadmill, and yet their definition of getting into shape is going to the gym and lifting weights and getting on a treadmill. If you don't like it, you really shouldn't be doing it. If you don't like bike riding, don't bike ride. I don't like running. I get shin splints all the time, and they hurt really bad. And I used to picture that running was the perfect way of staying healthy cardiovascularly. I'm a swimmer. I like swimming laps. And it took me a while to realize that I shouldn't be running. I should instead be swimming. And I don't swim a lot. I swim 1 to 2 days a week, sometimes even less. Sometimes it's 2 days a month, but I try to get swimming in. And it's something that I really enjoy, and it's something that I really love. And that should be what you're focused on, is just picking things that you like. And that doesn't just apply to fitness. That also applies to diet. If you don't like eating broccoli and Brussels sprouts, you shouldn't be eating broccoli and Brussels sprouts. I do not like Brussels sprouts at all. You will never see me eating Brussels sprouts, except my Aunt Laretha's over Thanksgiving, because I love her and I'm willing to eat her Brussels sprouts. But it's not something I choose to have in my daily diet. Another good example is I love peas. They're sweet, they're crunchy, they're delicious. At least for me, my wife hates them. And so what I try to do, specifically for my wife, is I pick things that we cook for dinner that she likes and that my kids like. And every now and then I'll throw peas in because I like them, and she'll pick around them and won't eat it. But that's something you need to do. You need to pick things you like to do. If you like hiking, go hiking. If you like canoeing, go canoeing. If you like going to the gym, go to the gym. If you like just walking outside in the sunshine, you should be walking outside in the sunshine. Pick things that you like to do and that you want to do regularly. That's how you form a successful habit. I like talking. A good example on the business front is picking a business that I don't like to do is something that I'm not going to be happy with. And so the opportunity to do something that I enjoy, which is talking about a lot of different topics from a lot of different angles, is something that I think I can be successful at. And I'm not going to go start a retail business. I'm not going to go start a fashion business. I'm not going to go sell cars. There's a lot of things that I could do that I wouldn't be successful at because I'm not interested. So number 2 is picking something that you like, avoiding things that you don't like, and just generally picking things that you as an individual can sustain. So maybe you need to rethink your New Year's resolution in terms of, well, what does it mean to get healthy this year? What does it mean to set my goals this year? So understanding your level of commitment, and then understanding what you can actually sustain by picking things that you like to do. Number 3, we've touched on it a little bit, but I really want to go into it. Most highly successful people realize that it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And what that means is small changes over long periods of time lead to the greatest success. Realize that if you're unhealthy, if you're overweight, if you have bad posture, if you are not being successful in your daily life, most of those things took a long time to get to where they are. You didn't become unhealthy in a day. You became unhealthy over years. You didn't get out of shape in a day. You got out of shape over years. And so by understanding that it's a slow move towards progress, and that you don't have to win everything today, is really, really important. And you're going to have failures. Failures are okay. It's okay to say, I'm trying to eat healthy, and I went out and I got a Blizzard with ice cream and M&Ms. That's one of my it's one of my crutches. I like ice cream. My grandma used to take me out when I was a little kid. I have really good memories of it. And so every now and then I will treat myself to an ice cream with M&Ms. And that's okay. I don't have to be perfect all the time. I just have to be perfect most of the time. And it's understanding that success takes time. You're not going to build a business in a day. You're not going to change your health in a day. You're not going to change your health and your diet and all these things over short periods of time. So what that means is you need to understand that this is the long run. And you need to make sure that as you're picking habits to change, that these habits aren't going to change now. And you need to make sure that you are scheduling those changes over time so that you can be successful. Now, again, that has to go with things that you like. So picking changes you can sustain, as well as understanding the level of commitment that you need today. Because you don't have to go to the gym and spend 3 hours at the gym this month, right? So if you're going to the gym and you're committing to too much, and you're going to the gym and you're picking exercises that you hate, or exercises that hurt when you do them, there's a lot of exercises I won't do at all, by the way. Like overhead press really kills my back. So I'll do shoulder flies instead, just as an example. Swimming, I suck at butterfly. I'll do it a little bit, but predominantly I stick to breaststroke and freestyle because those are my strokes and I really enjoy doing them. And again, when I go to the swimming pool, I don't realize, I'm not trying to do a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 yard workout anymore. I'm trying to do 500 or 1,000 once a week. And when I get really good into shape over a summer and I've been really on top of things, then I can get up to 3,000 or 4,000 yards. Or when you're really in shape, you can get up to 3 to 4 to 5 sets per body part, per workout, and you work out 3 to 4 days a week. You can get up to that, and that's okay. One of the other things I want to talk about, so number 4 on the successful habit or highly effective habits is prioritization, right? You need to learn how to prioritize things. If I were to ask you what the most important things in your life were, you would most likely not say sitting on the couch and watching TV and eating Doritos. But a lot of us do that instead of working on our health and fitness. A lot of us do that instead of working on our relationships and spending time with our kids. I can be bad at times where I play too many video games and my kids just want me to read them a book. And I have to stop myself and remind myself that my child is my priority, my video game is not. It's important to understand on that Sunday when you're being lazy that your health and your diet and your nutrition and potentially your business, these should be your priorities. And so I tell my kids all the time, right? You get your priorities done and then you can have fun afterwards. It's like when my little one, my 7-year-old, I've done a great job with my 15-year-old and my 11-year-old, but my 7-year-old, he gets up and he wastes all this time in the morning. And so one of the things that I have this thing called the 5 things you have to get done, right? He has to get dressed, he has to get his shoes on, he has to pack his lunch, he has to eat breakfast, and he has to brush his teeth. So those are the 5 things he has to get done every single day. And so I remind him every single day, what are your priorities? And your priorities, if you focus on your priorities, they take a very short amount of time. So let's say that you have 24 hours in a day and you have 7 days in a week. That's a lot of time in a week. If you're telling me that you can't prioritize your health and fitness for at least fitness-wise, doing something that you enjoy, whether that's biking or running or swimming or going to the gym, you can't prioritize that for 1 hour for the entire week, that should be your priority. If you're telling me that when you wake up in the morning and you want that huge bowl of really sugary cereal, that you can't prioritize your health to have some bacon and eggs instead, that was a choice to not understand your priorities. Now, one of the things I like to think about in terms of my prioritization is I play Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of friends 1 night a week. And I think about how many meals you eat in a day. So you eat 3 meals in a day and you have 7 days a week. So 3 times 7 is 21. I have 21 meals in a week and I try to be perfect on 20 of them. Now, sometimes I'm only perfect on 18 of them, so I've cheated a couple times. But if you're perfect on all of those meals, I go to my friend's house and we play games and I'll drink a couple sodas and I'll have a couple brownies and I'll eat really badly for 1 meal. But that doesn't take away from all of the other things. You can, if you get all of your priorities done, if I get my health and diet and nutrition prioritized where I'm perfect for those 20 meals a week, I can enjoy that 1 meal a week. If I make it to the gym 3-4 days a week, or even if you're starting off, like from scratch and you only get 1 day a week, the rest of the week you can watch your TV, you can watch your Netflix, you can go to the bar and hang out with friends. You can do the things you like, you can do the things you enjoy. You just have to prioritize. So for me, my priorities go family, relationships, health and fitness, job and career. Now it's going to be my business and other things that I'm working on. And then it comes to all the extracurriculars or extracurricular things that I enjoy, like games, like doing other things. And so those, you need to understand your priorities. So prioritization is a highly effective habit of successful people, and you need to prioritize your life in whatever order makes sense to you to help you understand how to be successful at the habits you're trying to form this year. Okay, so the last habit or effective habit of successful people is they build communities around what they do. And when I say communities, I don't mean necessarily go to a CrossFit gym and be a part of 30 people or 100 people that are doing something. That could be it for you, but everybody is different. And so you need to make sure that you find a community that works well for you. My wife and I like to just go on long walks. And so once a week, her and I will walk 2 miles to the local Starbucks. I'll get my black coffee. She'll get her, plain green tea. We'll take our dog out for a walk so he gets some time with us and he enjoys going on long walks. And then we'll walk back. Sometimes we'll walk up into the foothills. Sometimes, we'll pick a different direction and go to a different Starbucks. But the idea is my wife and I do it together. And sometimes our kids join us for shorter walks. Our 15-year-old is hanging out with his friends. Our 11-year-old can hang with us now, but our 7-year-old, he really wants to go. But when we go on 3 or 4 mile walks, you get halfway through it and you have to turn around because he's just not there. So typically we have our 15-year-old babysit the kids. When we go on short walks, we invite everybody. But when we go on really long walks, 5, 6, 7 miles, it's just my wife and I, and we love spending time together and we love talking. But that's one way of building a community. Another way is if you have friends that like to go mountain biking and you like mountain biking, again, making sure it's something you can sustain, it's something you like. they go out with their friends mountain biking once a week or once a month. And again, it's something you can sustain. It's understanding your level of commitment. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and your prioritization. All those come first. But then building communities around the things you like allow you to continue them more regularly. And it's like a buddy system. If somebody else is going to ride a bike and they invite you, then you're more likely to go out and ride your bike. If my wife is at the swimming pool 4 days a week because my kids are on swim team, and she feels like doing a swim workout, she can text me at work and say, hey, do you want to meet us there a little early so that you can jump in the swimming pool with me and we can get a swim workout together? And so the idea is you have somebody else, and you have somebody else that can get you to do it with you, but you also can be that person for other people, right? You can say, hey, I'm going to the gym. Do you guys want to join me? And you can help other people stay on track just like they can help you stay on track. So building those communities are really, really important. And building links as humans in general are really, really important. Building that sense of belonging to a group of people, it's just a betterment of society. I think with the current technology and people on their cell phones all the time, we've separated ourselves from the rest of society. So building that community and having the opportunity to just spend time with people is immensely important. So now I want to point out a couple of red flags, things that you should be wary about, okay? One thing that I hear a lot is that people tell me when they pick a big diet that, I just have to do this and then I can go back to my more normal diet. Red flag. You need to pick things that you can commit to, right? So things you can sustain. That's highly effective habit number one. And if you're not picking something that you can't see yourself doing for the rest of your life, then you're not picking something you can commit to. That's an immediate red flag. If you think that you can stick to a diet for 6 months, lose 50 pounds, and then go back to eating whatever you were eating, that's why you rebound, which isn't what I think most of us want. I think most of us want to say, hey, I'm going to get in shape so that I can stay in shape for the rest of my life. And I'm going to pick the things that I enjoy doing, that I want to do, that is sustainable. Red flag number 2 is following others instead of setting your own goals. Now, I want to be careful here because this isn't the case where you're spending time with others for spending time with others' sake. That's totally cool. If my friends are going to the gym and I'm going to go to the gym with them, perfect. Let's go to the gym. But if I'm going to the gym to do their workout and I dread going to the gym to do their workout, that's a red flag. What I should be doing is going to meet them at the gym, letting them do their workout, and I'll go do my workout. We're still spending time together, but I have my goals and they have theirs. I have the things I like and they have the things that they like. And that doesn't mean don't try new things. It means do something that's sustainable to you. Another good example is I have my son who really loves swimming, and he's on the swim team and he's doing really, really well, and his friends want him to join track. So he was thinking about quitting swim team and joining track. And if you talk to him, he doesn't even really like running. But his friends are there, so he wants to do it. That's a red flag. You should be doing something that you want to do. And if your friends don't like swimming and you don't like track, then find something else that you guys can do together that isn't swimming or track. You should still have your habits, they can have their habits, and you can find joint habits that allow you to do things together. So red flag number 2 is following people to do things only because they want to do it, not because it's what's right for you. So be really careful with that one. Again, it's not about not hanging out with other people, and it's not doing things out of your comfort zone because other people are doing them. You should totally do things out of your comfort zone, and you should be willing to spend time with your friends and other people doing things that you wouldn't typically do. But just be careful. It's a slippery slope. Make sure the things that you are trying to do consistently are the things that you consistently enjoy, and then you'll be on the right path. We've covered it a little bit, but the third red flag is something that is just a good reminder. A lot of people get in too deep, too fast. And it goes back to all of the other things we've covered, is You want to make sure that the things you are doing are at your own pace. Everybody is different. You go to the gym and you see that big guy lifting those super heavy weights. He didn't do that in a week. He didn't probably even do that in a few years. It took him many, many years to get to that level. And you don't have to be at that level. You have to be at your level. Being at your level is the most important thing that you can do. Start off where you can and build to where you want. And if you get to the point where you're beyond what you want, it's okay to stop. It's okay to slow down. You don't have to be an Olympian. You don't have to be a professional bodybuilder. You are doing this for you. They are your goals. They are customized to you. They're unique to you. And you are a unique and beautiful person. You should be focusing on your goals and nobody else's. So red flag number 3 is really getting in too deep, too fast, and losing sight of what your goals are. If you find yourself doing something and you don't even know why you are doing it anymore, that's the red flag. The red flag is, why am I still doing this? It's not something I like, or I'm doing too much. I'm starting to get injured. I'm going to the gym too many times. I'm throwing my back out. My elbow hurts. My knee hurts. I have a headache that doesn't want to go away. These are all red flags that you're in too deep and you need to slow down. Or if you catch yourself eating that food that's a part of your diet and you look at the food going, I really don't like this, that's a red flag. If you don't like what you're doing, change what you're doing. Go do something that you do like what you're doing. And that's red flag number 3, okay? So just as a nice reminder from top to bottom, the highly effective habits of very successful people are in order. Number 1, understand your level of commitment. Make sure that you're committing to something that you can actually commit to. Short amount of time in the gym, tiny dietary changes, and making sure that you got it, that it's something that you really want to do. Number 2 is picking changes that you can sustain, and sustainability is key for success. If you can't sustain it, you will not be successful in it. So picking things that you like and things that you enjoy and a direction that you can see yourself doing in the long run, highly, highly important. Make sure that you're picking things that you can sustain. The third highly effective habit is understanding that you have a long period of time to work with, and you don't have to worry about getting it done in a super short period. It's okay to have short-term goals. Short-term goals are very, very effective at meeting things in the short term. But those short-term goals should be a part of a long-term plan. You should be planning for the entire marathon. You should be planning 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years out of where you want to be and how you're going to get there. And that doesn't mean have it all planned out today. It just means understand that you're not going to get to a super crazy end result immediately and that you have time to get there. Number 4, prioritization matters. Again, priority, priority, priority. Get the things that you need to get done first so that then you can go have fun. And having fun is important for all of us. We all need to enjoy our lives. You just need to take care of your priorities first. And last but not least, building a community, building a support group, finding friends that do the things that you enjoy doing, and making sure that you have that buddy system where you can invite them to go do stuff and they can invite you to go do stuff, and it's all doing things that you enjoy. Beware of those red flags. Avoid them. Pay attention to them. When you hear them, they mean that you need to take action and change. And the last thing that I want to say is failure is okay. We're human. We make mistakes. I pushed myself too hard to where I had a bulging disc in my back. Made a mistake. Learned from it, but it didn't kill my ability to go forward. I've tried a couple other businesses. They weren't necessarily successful. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to try it in another business. I had that M&M blast. It's not an end to my diet. I made a mistake. I only was good for, 17 meals this week. Next week I can shoot for 18 or 19. And sometimes you need to start even slower than that. Sometimes you need to just start with 1 or 2 good meals out of a week and then build up to 3 and then 5 and then 10 and then whatever you get to. So failure is okay. It's okay to fail as long as you keep trying and keep these highly effective habits in mind. Thank you for joining me. This is the James McDuffie Perspectives Podcast. I wish you the best of luck in everything that you do this year. Go get those habits, nail them down, start small, build big, be successful. You can do it. And we'll be here in the next episode. Have a good day. Bye.